The podcast you are about to listen to is one of the many podcasts that is part of the College Huddle, the largest fan-led college sports podcast community on the internet. Fan-made, fan-driven, and fan-fueled. The College Huddle.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free!
Okay, next question.
I'm a horse football coach right now.
You know, I got shoved up. I got shoved, right?
What's up, everybody? It is the Spartan Savants podcast, episode 28. We are here to recap the big win over Florida Atlantic University. That's this past Friday night for the Michigan State Spartans. I am joined, of course, by Travis Tyler and Nikki Homburg. How you guys doing?
We're 1-0. That's all that matters.
That is true. Just got to win. I mean, that's all that matters.
You know, I've been pretty good. I'm obviously happy that we won. The existential dread of college football season has already taken over me. I would just hate watching games yesterday. Just anytime a team that was favored was winning by more than 2 scores, I was just fuming. I thank God for the Michigan and Oregon game, just so I can see some other teams struggling. Like, my God, it felt like, we'll get into that. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
It is certainly nice to have it back, but the level of stress that comes with it is I feel like I forget about that half the time.
Time is running short, man.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was so I'm with you, Nikki. Anytime there was a ranked team yesterday or anything, I was just rooting for them to lose. And we couldn't get one upset yesterday.
No, not a one.
No, we'll get Houston, but whatever.
Yeah.
Nice catch. I don't even know
Oh, anyways, we have lots to get into. MSU won 16-10, obviously. Not quite what I think what we were expecting or hoping for, but I think there's some good to take away, I should say. But certainly lots of negatives. 16-10, a close game, closer than it should have been. Obviously, some interesting calls officially from the officials. But Travis, give me your knee-jerk reaction to the game and what you saw Saturday night from the team.
Yeah, I mean, I would have obviously liked to have seen us cover against a team like that, but hey, you know, that's apparently asking too much these days. You know, like you said, there's a lot of negative. There's still some good in there. You know, Aiden Childs was the big selling point. Everybody was really excited about watching him, and maybe we oversold it a little bit because you could see the talent there and what he brings to the offense. But he also looked like exactly what he is, which was an 18-year-old making his first college start. A lot of those plays were there. It's just the accuracy and I guess, yeah, the accuracy was the biggest thing, especially when he was out on the run, throwing that ball, and just the rapport with the receivers was kind of the biggest issue. And to his credit, in the post-game press conference, he basically admitted that he didn't play well and he was the problem with the offense. Now, having said that, you know, going forward, if he starts playing like we have heard he can play and like he believes he can play, there's some positives there, but also the offensive line took a while to get together. I think they put it together at the end a little better, but for a lot of the game, I was waiting for them to start dominating, and it just wasn't really happening. We also, Nate, we talked about this as in our group chat. Nate Carter might be running back 2 now because K'Ron Lynch-Adams had a fantastic game. He looks the part. So there's good things on offense, even though they struggled to put it together. Hopefully, going forward, there's the scheme is a little better because I mean I'm hoping Brian Lindgren knows that he can use the middle of the field in the passing game. because everything was pretty much a deep shot down the sideline or, one of our classic power run calls. Defensively, Joe Rossi's going to make a difference. That team, it was Florida Atlantic, but, Tom Herman has some offenses. There's some speed on that team. The national experts were saying that we could struggle with that offense. So to hold them to 10 points when our offense isn't doing anything and to have some of those guys break out and have some great games was awesome to see.
Yeah, they couldn't even pass the ball at all. I mean, it was, and I don't know how much of that is their quarterback just not being an effective passer, but I mean, they really struggled to do anything off.
Yeah,
they could really only run, and even when they were able to do that, it wasn't explosive plays.
Yeah, someone needs to teach that guy to tighten his chin strap, though. I mean, good God, that helmet came off all the time.
I could do 30 minutes on that guy.
He is public enemy. I have never hated a player at such an inconsequential school that Michigan State played so much. I fucking hate Cam Fancher. What a loser. What a loser with those late slides.
The guy from Kansas State, like the 5'10" guy, he just got bumped down the list. Cam Fincher is my new enemy.
Yeah.
Like
such an asshole. Like just begging to get his headshot chopped off half the time. He slid so late every play that he was out running. So late.
Yesterday, every time I saw a QB slide, I would just cringe. I'm not rooting for injuries, so I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
Well, we can all assume.
We know where you're going.
It was ridiculous. The first time, late slide, it happens, and then it was just all game. It was dude, this guy's begging. Obviously, he's trying to get that flag pulled, by sliding late. He's begging to get a concussion, and so eventually, I don't feel bad for him anymore. This is what he's asking for. And that we did get really lucky on that. The play where Turner got called for targeting, that got reversed, and then they called it that he was short because he started to slide short of the first down. So we got the ball back because there was going to be 30 yards of penalties added to the end of that play, which would have put them, right into score.
They would have scored a touchdown right there, probably.
Yeah,
if we're being honest. If we're being honest, this would be a completely different show.
Yeah. So, Nikki, what about you? Any thoughts in terms of offense, defense? What you saw Friday night?
1 sec.
The shadester.
My dog's going crazy.
That's okay. It happens over here all the time. I'll jump in. I thought the defense was really solid. I think you saw a lot of the additions from the offseason make plays.
Yes.
Ed Woods was all over the place. The defensive line was nasty. Tally, just you called it out in the last show. He made a difference. They were just all over the place. I thought from the DBs to the defensive line to the linebackers, everyone played. You saw positives from
flying
everybody.
to the ball.
Yeah. Some nastiness. Good. Yeah.
Angelo Gross looked like freshman Angelo Gross, which is a good thing. Not usually a good thing when you're saying that about a senior, but in this case, yeah.
And there was some nastiness, some real aggression on the defense, which is what you want to see. I don't really mind all the penalties because I think they were pretty they were impacted by the late slides, and some of them I don't think were very good calls. The refs, terrible game from the refs. One of the worst officiated games I've ever seen. And I'm not just saying that because we lost 16-10, but
we won.
We won.
We won.
Sorry. Not saying that because we won only 16-10, but from the first play of the game, there's no way that was clear and conclusive evidence that he caught that ball in bounds. They called it incomplete on the field. There's no way it should have been overturned. And it just went on from there. But the penalties, there was a blatant holding call missed on FAU. So I think in a normal game with normal officiating, with Aiden Childs not throwing that interception in the red zone, which we haven't talked about yet, but that hurt. Michigan State probably wins that game 24-6. 30-6. Is that a little reasonable? I mean, it's a little more reasonable, and we all feel a lot better right now.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to my point about that's the Florida Atlantic side of that, and the Florida Atlantic success side of that. But at the same time, some of the plays that we had were there that could have easily been a better game. Like we had 4 red zone possessions, we only scored once.
Yeah,
that can't happen. 1 for 4 in the red zone. It's a completely different ball. That's minimum. That's a minimum 3 extra points just because of assuming we only get 1 field goal on those possessions,
right?
And then it's possible up to 21 more points. I mean,
and
it's a whole new ball game right there.
Honestly, with that red zone pick was like a 14-point swing. Like, that. Yeah. Even if we just got a field goal there, it would have been 19-3.
Yeah.
Like it's with one really bad play, really soiled the night.
Yeah. And Childs, no doubt, was sloppy. I think that's honestly with an 18-year-old 18-year-old quarterback, that's what you're going to get. You're going to see a little bit of that. And I don't think it has anything to do with us overestimating his talents, because you can see it. Some of the throws he made were just really nice. There's a zip on the ball. He's very athletic. He can obviously run. We had a rushing touchdown. But I think he looked a little nervous. I think that led to some of the sloppiness. And he, like you said, he said it. Like, he owned up to it. It's his first game. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure on him. It's like when you get an MLB player that's traded at the deadline to a winning team, and all the fans think he's going to be the savior, or he's this, he's going to help us win. There's a lot of pressure on you to do that. Childs, coming in, it's not like he's free of any pressure. The fan base is expecting quite a bit of him, and but definitely some sloppiness. He looked like he rushed some throws. Looked like he didn't set his feet on a couple. All things that I think can be worked out. It's obvious that he can make the throws. I think, Trav, you made such a good point about throwing the ball down the sidelines. I don't really understand why the middle of the field wasn't used very often. But that was tough to watch. The receivers, a sloppy night for the receivers too. I'm a little worried about our lack of ability.
Yeah.
Big playmaking threats on that side of the ball there.
I don't want to make
Foster was. Yeah, go ahead.
But I'm about to. Montori Foster might not be playable. He bad.
I can't believe that's our number 1, and that's how he performs in the spotlight, man. That was rough. And that pick that you were talking about that they overturned, I texted you guys that, hey, that's the worst thing that could happen. What the hell was Childs doing? And then look at the replay. Foster basically dropped that ball.
Yeah.
It hit him in the hands. Like that's the play the number 1 receiver's got to make, and he had plenty of those that he didn't make the entire night.
Yeah, absolutely. That was tough. Not his best game.
One thing that I will say one thing, I said the same thing last year. If we could just get like 60 yards in penalties a game, it's so much better. Like, just get under 100, please.
Yeah.
And so it just feels like most of the issues that you can see do seem very correctable.
Yes.
We've also been saying that the past 2 years, but nothing really changed. But we actually have a coaching staff now, so this is why I pay them the big bucks.
Yeah, agreed. I really am quite encouraged by the defense. I don't think it's going to be like a top 5 defense in the nation, but they were flying around. They were aggressive. For the most part, there wasn't multiple frequently receivers running down the middle of the field wide open. It happened a couple times, but that's going to be expected.
That one guy got loose late. Yeah.
And the quarterback just missed him by a mile.
Yeah. Better to be lucky than good sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, man. But I mean, really encouraging from certain aspects of it. I think the things hopefully will get cleaned up, and Jonathan Smith and the guys who need to clean it up, they know it. But Trav, who's your player of the game?
I think it's hard to ignore K-Ron. Lynch Adams. First, touchdown run. Looked like he had incredible burst whenever he got the ball. I don't understand why they didn't give him the ball more, because I think Carter had more carries than he did at the end of the day. But yeah, that was the touchdown run. Probably should have had 2 touchdown runs. Don't get me started on that fucking dead ball whistle. Oh my God.
That was so bad. I've never seen anything that bad.
His momentum hadn't been stopped at all. He was still moving his legs, and the guy had just hit him a little bit, touched him. Whistle. I mean, God.
That was.
I don't even know what else to say about it. Yeah.
That one was. Thank God we got that rushing touchdown after, because that was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big adversity game for us, which,
yeah,
you're
right.
Get that out of the way, get that out of the way before Big Ten play, which luckily is in 6 days. It really would have been nice to be playing Prairie View next week. Maybe another team to get our feet wet a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with the guy that scored the touchdown and actually looked good on offense. There are plenty of candidates on defense too, but
yeah. No, I agree. I think that I thought the same thing about Lynch Adams. Like, I remember 3rd or 4th quarter, Mikey and I just looking at each other like, why aren't they giving the ball to number 15 more? Like, what are we?
Yeah.
And then they would give it to him and he'd rattle off a 15-yard run. It's like, okay, do it again. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Why are we trying to get cute here? Like, just give the ball to Lynch Adams. So, Nikki, how about you? Any
hit like in like milliseconds of getting the ball? Like,
yeah,
My
felt like. Go ahead.
Okay. My player of the game, God, it's hard not to say K'Ron, but who's the guy that scored the safety?
That was Dowse, Daquan Dowse.
No, I'm gonna go him. He gave our defensive energy up early. Like, he set the tone. You guys will not. You guys are not moving the ball on us.
Yeah,
he had a very good game.
Good point. Yeah, he did play very well. Yeah, he got picked as player of the game, a lineman of the game actually. I saw on the team Instagram. Both great picks for you guys. I'll go with K'Ron Lynch Adams as well, but definitely an interesting situation unfolding at running back with Lynch Adams and Nathan Carter.
It's Carter, a good problem to have, though.
Yeah, I if Carter would have played really good, I would say it's a good problem to have.
He looked a little slow. Yeah.
And I don't know how much of his him versus the offensive line. He was getting hit.
There were a couple times where I was
room to run.
Yeah, there were a couple times where I was like, okay, O-line, move your ass, get that block out there because he's got space. Like,
yeah. I thought the O-line played fairly well in general, so I don't want to beat them up too much. Tanner Miller had some big-time blocks. Some of those big runs definitely were sprung by him. He's moving nicely, I thought. In general, I thought the offensive line played pretty good. They gave Childs time to pass when we did throw the ball.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was, under duress all night. So Childs and the receivers, we got to clean it up a little bit, I think.
Yeah. If they start hitting on that, I mean, this offense becomes not a problem anymore.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I mean, Childs could go out next week and like throw for 3 touchdowns, and we're
yeah,
absolutely. Would you guys? I would almost rather be playing like Oregon or Ohio State than Maryland next week, just because like it would be like whatever, we're gonna lose that game, but this is like a winnable game. But like, I just feel like I wish we were a little bit better.
Yeah, well, I mean, those guys are still kind of figuring themselves out too. So I mean, you saw Oregon struggle with Idaho. So, I mean, I see your point with that.
Yeah, it would be nice to play a team that either, like, we're going to lose to, but we can still get some, experience under these guys' belt.
Yeah.
Instead of having to play a team that, we should really beat this team, but also we're not playing very good right now. We still need some serious practice and experience for these guys. So it's gonna be. It would be really nice to play a team that like Oregon now. Like, yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, then we kind of get a litmus test on where we really are. Like,
exactly.
Right. Yep. Yeah. They'll have their hands full next week in College Park. No question about it. But it's I don't know. Could be a good time for Aiden to step up. If you ask me.
Got to get on the road, get out of East Lansing, take a nice bus or plane trip, and just time to start throwing touchdowns.
Business trip, baby. Yeah.
Yep. And less pressure as an underdog, right? Like you don't have to.
Yeah.
No one's expecting you to win the game, although I am. Obviously, we are. But it's definitely a little pressure that's taken off when you're the underdog. So.
Yeah, was it 7.5 right now?
7.5 is what it opened at. My guess is it might go to 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
by the time in a couple days even. But I don't really have anything else. We'll be back on Tuesday to preview the Maryland game, or I don't know when we'll release it, but we'll certainly be back this week.
Recording on Tuesday,
to preview the Maryland game. We'll talk about the rest of the college football games this week, but we just wanted to get on and get some knee-jerk reactions to the first game under the Jonathan Smith era. Obviously, thank you to Nikki and Trav, all the Spartans of Oz listeners out there. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and podcasts wherever you can find the podcasts, and YouTube, of course. Miss anything, Trav?
Nope, I forgot to put the banner up this time, so that's on me. That's on me.
That's okay. We will we'll be back on this week. We'll have a banner this time, and we'll talk to everyone soon. But the Spartans are 1-0, and we're heading into Maryland with some momentum at least. That's all you can ask for. Anything else?
No, I think that covers it.
All right. Go green.
Go white.
White.